We're quickly approaching fight week for Deontay Wilder against Tyson Fury 2. The big rematch at heavyweight for the WBC and lineal heavyweight championship of the world. Everybody's wondering how it's going to go. We're seeing loads of interviews. BT Sports over here are spamming that last round. They're talking about who's going to implement their tactics correctly. Is Wilder going to be more patient? Is he going to be able to line Fury up and finish what he started in that first fight? Or is Fury going to be able to tighten up on the blueprint he showed us and just make Wilder look like more of a goof than he usually comes across when he's being interviewed? I'm talking about how his mum never used to whoop him, or till this day, or whatever it may be. We don't know. It all adds to the excitement. It's all part of the fun with boxing. But the big question really is this going to be a good fight? Because when the dust settles, that's all ultimately that matters. Was it a good fight? Would you rewatch it? Was Tyson Fury against Deontay Wilder 1? Was that a good fight? I don't think it really was. I think the last round saved it from being remembered as something of a stinker. And indeed, that last round is what's been used and really just milked as a platform to try and big up this rematch. The punch stats of that first fight, at least from Tyson Fury's perspective, were quite similar to his against Vladimir Klitschko's, which of course was a performance which was just moulded and defined more by movement as opposed to contact. Fury was supposed to have landed 84, 87 punches against Wilder. But even that's the case, CompuBox is not always reliable. So many of them weren't really jarring shots. They didn't really catch your attention, because even though he got a bit of swelling on Wilder's face, he didn't really drill him at any point. He just always seemed to be just flicking and always keeping him right at the end of his shots. It was very low contact. For the majority of it, Wilder, who landed fewer punches, looked clueless, awkwardly followed him, and it was only the fact he got that good crack at the last round and made us wake up and go, oh, thank God, something good's happened. That really saved it from being a bit of a blowout. It reminded me a little bit of George Groves against Carl Froch 2, that huge rematch we had over here in England back in 2014. It was a really big deal. It was the first big stadium fight since Bruno McCall at heavyweight back in 95 in the old Wembley Stadium. Many years later, we have this huge deal. Boxing's alive again. That wasn't a great fight at all. Both Groves and Froch seem to have a bit of stage fright. First, second, third round have gone. They're both feeling each other out. I'm like, man, I thought Groves said this was going to be like Hagler Hearns. That old cliche. But even though I was kind of supporting Groves, I was glad it at least had an emphatic ending. And Froch delivered a knockout that basically validated the event. It was a similar kind of situation with Fury and Wilder. The rematch is upon us. They're giving it the big talks, as you'd expect. But ultimately, it needs to be a good fight. A lot of the promoting, especially from Fury's perspective, has drawn off a lot of comparisons with Evander Holyfield, Mike Tyson. He's told us this is going to be the biggest fight since Lewis Tyson. He's told us how this is like going back to the old days of the 70s. You keep trying to draw off great times to bump up your own event, but the only way your event is really actually going to be anywhere comparable to those events is if the fight delivers between the bell. We have got to see more contact. We have got to see more people willing to get stuck in and really go and try and grab greatness. Because it's just shirking about, little taps here and there, putting your hands up. It doesn't really wash. Less showboating, more fighting. And Wilder needs to really hone in with his boxing abilities, try to be more patient and catch Fury. Again, all the talk, it's great. It adds to the excitement of boxing, of course. It's one of the things that just really fuels the sport, all the what-ifs and what's going to happen. It adds to the big excitement before the first bell. But when it comes down to it, when the time passes and we look back, whether we're going to hit that replay button like I happily will do on Ali Frazier, on Holyfield Tyson, I'm not going to do it. for the first Wilder Fury fight. If I'm going to press that replay button for the rematch, then we need to see some good contact. We need to see two guys who realise there's more at stake than the WBC title and the lineal title.